Hallelujah. The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew.
Glory to you, O Lord.
Jesus began to reproach the towns where most of his miracles had been worked with their failure to reform. It will go ill with you, Chorazin, and just as ill with you, Bethsaida. If the miracles worked in you had taken place in Tyre and Sidon, they would have reformed in sackcloth and ashes long ago. I assure you, it will go easier for Tyre and Sidon than for you on the day of judgment. As for you, Capharnaum, are you to be exalted to the skies? You shall go down to the realm of death. If the miracles worked in you had taken place in Sodom, it would be standing today. I assure you, it will go easier for Sodom than for you, Capernaum, on the day of judgment. Sisters and brothers, the Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Again, taking consolation and comfort in the holy words of the Holy Bible, in the holy words of the book of Psalms like today, that should give us a continuous assurance that is provided we continue to trust in Him. Remember, God upholds His city forever. And mind you, my dear friends, all of us baptized Catholic Christians, we belong to this city. Again, time and again, I tried as much as possible, as we priests are doing in these times of crisis, we the ministers of the Word, unworthy though we are, we continue to remind ourselves, God is around. God is there. God is not away from us in spite of this pandemic, which has caused us a lot of worries, uncertainties, and causing us even becoming paranoids, always thinking of the bad things that we feel as we do not try and are not able to cope up with this pandemic today. So my dear friends, let us never forget what the psalmists are telling us today from the book of Psalms chapter 48 verses 2 to 8 in today's liturgy. God upholds His city forever. And mind you, all of us rightfully belong to the city. In today's gospel message of Matthew chapter 11, verse 20 to 24, the Lord Jesus warns, cautions, as described in the gospel narration, the unbelieving towns in Galilee. If we have gone to the Holy Land as a pilgrim, we might be wondering, my dear friends, there is a biblical site in the Holy Land, mind you, that only very few tourists come to visit. And this biblical site in the Holy Land, the reason why the tourists do not come to visit definitely is it's not because this site lies off what we call the beaten track. In fact, on the other hand, This site is just a few miles from the Sea of Galilee, also called the Sea or the Lake of Tiberias. So this is not the reason, my dear friends, that tourists do not come to this place, because it's very far or it lies off the beaten track. In fact, it's too near to the Sea of Galilee. This biblical site in the Holy Land, my dear friends, used to be a thriving town. In fact, very often in Jesus' lifetime, he went to this place, to this town, preaching and doing miracles. But what happens to this used to be thriving town? Today, however, it is a very ugly and deserted place, littered with rubble. And this site is Chorazin. My dear friends, in spite of the fact that Jesus kept on preaching to them and also doing miracles, the citizens of Chorazin refused to reform and change their lives. And that is why in the gospel narration today, we hear the words of Jesus, "Woe to you, Chorazin! It will go ill with you, Chorazin." And definitely it has. My dear friends, going into the details of our reflection on the gospel passage today, Matthew 11:20 to 24. The basic problem with the Galilean towns, Chorazin, Bethsaida, and Capernaum, the basic problem with these Galilean towns Jesus condemns is their pride. They were so proud. They felt and they thought they were good enough. They felt and thought they do not need to reform or to change their lives. And that is why when in time this attitude of these people from Chorazin, Capernaum, and Bethsaida, when in time this attitude hardened, not even the miracles of Jesus could open their hearts. Now we go to ourselves. What do we find that needs most of reforming and changing in our own lives? Today, Jesus is calling us for a continuous conversion of our hearts and minds. And basically, it is a call for openness. Meaning, my dear friends, by rooting out what we call the pride deep inside us, and by replacing it, as it were, with openness and the basic willingness to change our lives, then we allow God to work His miracles in and through us. Again, honestly, let's ask ourselves, what needs most of reforming and changing in your life, my life, our lives today? And we end with this prayer. Lord, help me to take to heart the words of John Steinbeck in his article, East of Eden. And John Steinbeck says in his article, a man, after he has brushed off the dust and the chips of his life, this man will have only left the hard and clean question. Was it good or was it evil? Have I done well or have I done ill? Amen.